Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening for another special edition of WOWSA Live with a very special guest and our host, Ned Denison. Ned?
Hello, everyone. I'm the chairperson of the International Marathon Swimming Hall of Fame. My guest today is Igor de Souza, the famous Brazilian marathon swimmer who's an honoree of the organization. I'm going to tell you a little bit about his career, and then we're going to get into some questions. Igor swam the English Channel in 1996 in 11 hours and 6 minutes. It was the fastest male time of the year. He did a double English Channel in 18 hours and 33 minutes. And both of the legs were the fastest crossings of the year. He swam the Manhattan Island Swim 4 times, winning it in 2001. And he started with the International Marathon Swimming Association, the professional league, in 1985, and he was ranked in the top 10 for 15 consecutive years, which is a long time at the top. And then, amazingly, he has swum the very tricky Around Atlantic City swim 10 times. Igor, welcome to the show, and please start by telling us a little bit about your swimming before you became a marathon swimmer.
So, hello everybody. First of all, thank you for inviting me for this interview. So I started swimming in 1969, I was a 400 and 1500 swimmer, and I was a member of the Brazilian team. I participated in several championships in the world, Pan American, South American, World Championship, but I was never a good swimmer. I never take a final. I just have the minimal time to participate, and I don't know the word, but they have a famous swimmers now, like a Jean Madruga. He's at the top in the world in that time. He's the best swimmer. I was the second in Brazil. Jean is the first in 1500 meter, and I was the second in Brazil. And my first marathon swimmer was in 1961. I was 70 years old, and I remember that race. That race is around 1600 meters. It's a very famous race in Brazil. They invite many other countries to participate. And I remember that race because who won that race was John Kinsella. John Kinsella won that race. And I have a picture with him now. I'm so short because in the picture, my head is in the same size with his knees. Now, I guess John Kinsella probably is 2 meters tall. I don't know now. But I remember he wasn't the best swimmers in the 1500 meter in that time. But only in 1981 I did to start to big races in Brazil. Before that I just swam in the pool, some small races, but only in 1981 I dedicate more of my time to swim big events. I won in Brazil. The famous race in Brazil the name is Ilhabela Caraguá. It's 25 kilometers. We start in the island, go to the continent. It's still there, this race. I organize that now. And that's the famous race now in Brazil. In international, my first race was Capri Naples in 1986, and I finished in 4th place. That's 1986, and I finished in 4th place. That's my first international race in the world.
So fantastic. Just for the viewers who aren't aware, John Kinsella is also a honoree of the Marathon Swimming Hall of Fame. He is 193 centimeters tall, 6'4". As a young man, I think he was 17 when he won the silver medal in Mexico City Olympics in the 1500. And he was with some guy named Mark Spitz and picked up a gold in Munich in the relay. Also tell us about your influence on your career from the famous Brazilian swimmer Abílio Couto.
Yes, I met Abílio Couto. He was the director of the Brazilian Open Water Federation and he was the one who asked me to swim abroad. He was the one who signed me to present me to show me about the Capri Naples. He asked me why you never go to outside, and I told him, I remember that I didn't know have races at outside. I never listened about that. And so he supported me to go to Cape Naples for my first time. And he was a very close with my father, no friend, no, because my father was an open water swimmer also in that time with Abilio Couto in the 50 years. They are so close, and that's why he pushed me to go outside for swimming races.
And Igor, when you looked back in your career, you looked at the year ahead. You had your choices of many professional swims. You had your choice of some traditional swims like the English Channel. How did you make your decisions? What was motivating you?
Well, when I was young, like 7, 8 years old, I remember my father was in the watching TV and take a special movie. The name in English is The Queen of the Channel with Esther Williams, and talk about the woman to need to cross the English Channel for make money for save the farm with her parents. This is it's a musical movie, but inspire me to challenger. No, I love challengers. That's why I decided to start open water, because in the pool, usually the fast one is the best one. In the open water is not. No, in the open water, you need to be a little fast, but you must to adaptate during the race with the waves, the currents, the water temperature, and sometimes you must to change the strategy during the race. No, so this pool of things to make a good open water swimmers, and also the challenger. No, that's why I follow the most dangerous or risky races in the world to do that.
And when you were training for the English Channel double, was your training different than your normal training?
Well, the training is physical training. It's a little the same. No, with when I go to do the double, I swam 15 years the IMSA circuit, now the Marathon Swim International circuit. So when I did twice, my preparation was more mental than physical, no? And on the physical side, like I said, the only thing I did different was to do the 24 hours in the pool, no? And I put some the Brazilian Federation to count my meters, and I made 112,820 meters, 820 meters. In that time was the world record. No, I bet the record was the one guy from Sweden, or no, I guess it's from Sweden, and I broke the world record that time for 2 kilometers. No, but in the mental side, I adopted the philosophy of Taoism, no, for mentally. In addition that 1 year before the English Channel, everything I do, I divide in two. For example, if I start the warm up 800 meters, 400 meters I put in my mind, I go to France. The second 400 meters, I go back to England. If I have to go to the supermarket, so when I go to the supermarket, I imagine I go to France. When I come back, I imagine to go back to England. So everything I do that, everything. When I go to eat, for example, it's the same. No, half my plate with the food. That's true. That's true. I put that half my plates. That's my feed for go to France. The second part is for go back to England. No, it's amazing. And well, and one day during the race, you know, I talked with some friends like Philippe Rush, Susie Maron. They both made the triple, and I talked with other swimmers to try to make the double, and they didn't finish, and they almost said, "So I die." No, I'm so I'm so tired, almost is so tired they could come back. Someone's feel so cold. So I'm worried about that, no? And the day of the race, the first half, I keep preserving myself, no? So I swam. If you see the movie, I made like a 72, 74 strokes per minute in the first half, and I still that the third quarter. Only the last quarter, I push myself and put 83, 84 strokes per minute, because in the last quarter I knew I will be finished. No, I mean I was so good, and then that's when I push myself. Now that maybe that's why I made best time in the back, not in the second half. No, because I crossed in 9 hours 31 minutes and I come back in 9 hours 2 minutes. No? But probably that just because I'm so worried, I'm afraid to don't have power to finish the race. No, that's it.
So thank you very much. This is fascinating for us. We often ask motivations and mental preparation. This is very different, but it's fantastic. So for the people listening, a couple of things. If your big swim coming up is a 5K for the first time, you can break that into two halves. You could break it into four quarters. It doesn't matter. You can present a mental challenge to yourself, and you can visualize this for months and months before the swim. The second thing that I'd like the viewers to understand is that Igor is a champion, international, professional open water swimmer. And he was a bit afraid about the double. So it's okay if your longest swim is 4K and you're going for 10. It's okay to be a little bit afraid. Everybody, well, most people have a little bit of fear. When you reached France on your double, did you celebrate at all, or did you come up, put some more grease on, set your face, and go back?
Exactly that. In my last feed before I arrived in France, Claudio Plito was my coach in the boat. No, I just told him, Claudio, can you stay before me in the rocks? I finish in Cabo Green. Can you stay? Just put Vaseline in my arms, because this is a real pain. No, and I don't want to stay more than 1 minute. And that's it. I stay 50 seconds or something like that. If you see the movie, I jump in the rock. Claudio put the hands in my arms and I just jump in the water. I never want to think, because I believe it was a little sunny when I swam. No, if you stay more time, you stay outside the water, more time you probably don't want to come back in the water. When I make the double was 12 degrees, no, 12.8 degrees. No, for us, for the Brazilian, it's so cold. No, now in the winter, the coldest in Brazil is 19 degrees. No, so that's my position. I never think about. For me, it's like a turn in the pool. No, I want you to lose the time like a turn in the pool. That's it.
You swam Atlantic City a number of times. Many honorees have described this as one of the most interesting, challenging, and tricky swims. Tell us about the first time you swam it and all of the mistakes you made.
I made many mistakes. First of all, because we start in the channel, no, channel. The channel is a warmer the ocean, no, and the first time I start, and I'm in front, no, and I see the swimmers slower than me, and I push because like, why they so slower? And I saw that because when you come back in the when you turn it to the ocean, it's like a 4 degrees low, no? And I'm a freezing that. And I finished the race, but I'm so died in that race because I make it. This is my first mistake. And the second mistake is the current. When you come back into the channel, because we start in the channel, go to the ocean and come back to the channel. when when you need to come back inside the channel, if you go in the middle of the channel, the currents push you for outside. No, yeah, in my first time, so you must swim like in the sand probably. No, it's like a crocodile. You know, you touch the sand all the time. So I lose like 30 minutes to understood that. I saw many swimmers in the board, no, in the sand. They said, why they do that? You know, I still swim, and they pass me. That's I don't know the word. I see. I'm wrong. They are right. No, and I come back to the sand. But I love that race. I love the people during the channel, to in the houses, uh, always on the like you said, I swam 10 times. And the first time I was in the family house. In the other years, they invited me to stay in the casinos, in the hotel. I never stay in the casinos. All the time I stay in the family house, because you eat better, you sleep better. They 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 take care about you like a son, no? I'm so glad for that race. I love that race also. I love the family with the working with that race now. They have all my respect for that. I'm so sad because they don't have anymore this race. This is some races you must come back, because it's a wonderful race.
They've restarted it, but it's not the same format. Um, it's interesting. We spoke to Merv Sharp, who was the king of the English Channel, yesterday, and his first English Channel was 53 years ago or something. He remembers it like it was yesterday. And I'm listening to you, Igor, and I can imagine you in the middle of the channel and your first Atlantic City swim, watching all of the people go by you. And that memory it's like it's yesterday, isn't it? You can see it.
Yes.
You close your eyes and you can see it.
No, exactly. I remember the people. I remember the people push you, because they don't care if you are first or the last one. They push you to finish for all one, for everybody. This is amazing. You know, this is something. This is motivating you. Sometimes some swimmers think to stop, no, but when they see the people pushing you to continues, now I don't know, some power in your body to decide, no, I still swim, I still going. No, yes, and I remember the faces, the some ones. I remember one family, they give a ring for the seven position, 17 position, something like that. The 17 position for a woman, no, because for remember some daughter or something like that. But I remember the face of these people, because you pass so close with that house. And I remember that they start to make a barbecue now, they drink beers, but I remember the faces and I forget. If I saw that, if I go back to Atlantic City and I saw the people in the street, I remember that. I remember them. It's amazing.
When you stopped swimming at the very top levels, you became involved in organizing races and with a Brazilian organization. So you're giving back to the sport. Tell us a little bit about what you've been doing the last few years.
Well, when I stopped swimming, well, I still swim in open water. No, I mean, when I stopped professional swim, I received an invite to supervise the open Brazilian team. So I organized the Brazilian open water team, and I training some swimmers like Poliana Okimoto, Ana Marcela Cunha, Alan do Carmo. Poliana and Ana Marcela, they won some world championships, the World Series now. They are in the top 5 in many years. And organized some races. I made one race for FINA and the World Cup in Santos. It's a big city in São Paulo. I organized for 7 years this race for the World Cup. And I still organize many races in Brazil. I organize like 24 races a year in Brazil. But not this year, no, because the pandemic is have a big problem. Everything is stopped. But usually, I made 24 races during the year. No, races with 4,000 meters, also races for 25,000 meters. Races, almost have like a 600 or 700 swimmers, but I have biggest races, two biggest races in Brazil. One is 4,500 swimmers. It's the limit, because if I open more, they have more swimmers. A limit in 4,500 swimmers. And also I have another race, is at 3,800 swimmers. This is the biggest in the Brazil now. And I organize this for the last 15 years. No, the last 15 years, I organize all these races. And I also supervise the Brazilian team.
You had the Olympics in Rio, and I know
Yeah.
you were involved. Did you think about the Olympics and think, if they had the Olympics earlier, you could have been
Every
there?
year, every year, every year. No, every year. I remember I invited to swim in Canada the Pan-Pac Games one year. I don't know the year now. And in the Pan-Pac Games, the organizer said, maybe in the next Olympics will be the open water. I said, great, I will be there. But I lose that time, no. But I'm happy to involve, you know, with the Brazilian team in Rio. Well, I was in Peking, no. I was in London and also in Brazil. So the three open water marathon swimming Olympics, I was there. No, I was there. So I'm satisfied. I would like to swim for sure, but in some kind, I will be there. No, I be there. I be there.
And can you imagine being in Tokyo when Anna wins a gold medal?
Well, I don't like to talk gold medal. No? Everybody asking me about that. Listen, my first pharma, I make 3 universities, but my first pharma was mathematics. You know, so I work with numbers. If you see statistic, Ana Marcela is have more points to take the gold medal, but she lose some 10 kilometers with 7 swimmers. She wants more, but have 7 swimmers in the world. They beat her one time, minimum one time, sometimes more than one. And in the day of the Olympics, it's different. If you asking me, Ana Marcela can win the World Cup, she's the favorite because every month she's in the good shape. She's like a tank, no? She can still the same. But in the Olympics, it's just one time. Just one time. And everybody knows her. That's the second point. Everybody watching her. Any movement she did during the race, 7 or 8 swimmers watching her. That's the point. I believe she can get a medal. I hope it's a gold medal. Doesn't matter, it's a gold or silver or bronze. First of all, gold. But like I said, the numbers, she have the good numbers, but someone's beat her sometimes. Must wait.
Igor, thank you very, very much for your time tonight, and we wish you all the best.
Thank you for the interview. And just see if you have one point, you talk about Manhattan. I just like to know, I started in 1991. I love that race because Manhattan is a wonderful place, you know. And my dream was to win that race. I just won 10 years later. No, that's amazing. It's when I swam in 2001, I just come that to finish the race, not for one. And I made that. That's just one point. Sometimes I think the universe look for some points. Said, okay, that's your time now. You can do that. Thank you, Ned. Thank you, Steve, again for the invite, and best of all for everyone.
Thank you.
Okay.